Hello, it's Paula Pasquale here, and I'm super excited to be talking about a new project, which is a new kind of box for Papercraft Society that I have designed. I'm super excited to be asked again to collaborate with Papercraft Society because I used to work at the very beginning with the Papercraft Society. I was working with practical publishing, and I was very involved with Carol to bring in certain elements. And I did the third box that I did, which was with Bright Rosa, which was my brand at the time with practical. And because now I am working with Crafts 2 and doing Miss P, it was great to have like bringing them these two brands kind of together again, because I really love working together with brands that I have worked in the past. So typical Papercraft Society, you have got coordinated cardstock in A5 with different colors, and you have got vellum, and this is kind of the starting, the basics. But then we have got a A5 clear stamps, and you will see that everything coordinates. And one of the things that I was really keen on incorporating was these kind of mechanisms in here that, there are kind of designs that have been out there, but for, kind of graphic designs. And I wanted to bring it together with stencils and stamps. So if you bring, for instance, that one will coordinate perfectly over the top, or you can put that one as well. So imagine to do that softer in color, bringing these ones in. I also wanted to do a couple of notes to my own packaging of Miss P, so I kind of brought those backgrounds to add interest. And the sentiments are actually sentiments that I did with Bright Rosa, but I done them much larger because Carol was like a little bit larger for card making would be great. So I did that. And then some stamps in here, some words as well for background, uplifting, inspirational words. In terms of the stencil, this is based on a design that I did for a die that was super popular for Miss P. It still is available, I believe, which is the Geo panel. I adore it. It's a 5x7, so I reduced it in size to coordinate with the dies in here. And of course, I just added some words that for me are very important and uplifting. That will coordinate with another die, and this one will coordinate with another die also included in the kit, so you can actually stencil it first and then die cut it, which I think is the easiest way to do it. Right, now saying that, then you are also getting a washi strips as well, so they are just printed in black, so you can put color over or under. I wanted to do a few words in there as well because, again, words are important. And then we have got foil pre-die cut ephemera. I haven't opened it yet. I am just very excited, but I will do that in a second. And then you are getting lots of little clips as well, and you will understand why in a second, because the whole concept of this box and Miss P loves is to use as minimal glue as possible. And by the way, you get as well this brush, which I'm so excited because I requested. It's just for those little elements in here that you really need the brush. Now the dies, that's what is more important that we talk about it, because the dies are a little bit more, they're more concept dies than anything else. And they built a mini journal. So you have got here, this one that has got that kind of element is to create the covers, and it can create a card as well. And then this one is for the pages that creates the aperture. Now, usually when I design most of my dies for Miss P, the Boundless Journal, is the fact that usually it's a page and you pass it once and that's it. However, if it was that, I would need much more space for dies, and I thought, well, I can do both in one go and give you more with a little bit of ingenuity. And the ingenuity consists in taking an A5 and fold it in half. This one is the one that comes with the kit in here. And what I do first is the hinge, the one that is going to go through the page, the covers. Now you fold it in half, and then you place it over the line that here. This is a guide, so you are going to be straight in there. Turn it over and secure it with low-tack tape. Now you want to secure it well, so if you have got any low-tack tape that you don't trust, do not use it for this project. And you want to secure it, I like to secure it in this edge. It's better to have a stronger tape as long as you secure it on this side, because this is going to be extra. You're not going to use it for the cover, right? So just kind of secure it. The reason is if it goes a little bit skew, it will be not looking as good. And again, I use low tack tape on the sides just to make sure that secures. Now, this will go through an A5 die cutting machine, and of course, depending on your die cutting machine, you're having 2 layers of card. Now, if you go up to 250 GSM, it shouldn't be a problem. Sometimes you will need to run it twice depending on your machine and your die cutting plates. Now, I'm going to put it through my die cutting machine, and I am using an electrical one, but of course, whatever die cutting machine you have. Now, I always say that make sure that your dies are clean, and clean I mean no debris or not leftovers there, because that's a small piece and you want to have a really nice die cut. Right, so take it from my die cutting machine, and you have got this one. Now that creates this page like this, and what I'm going to do is actually do the other way around. Now you have got a scoring line as well here, and that's if you want to create more of a spine. And I like to give it I'm just not going to bother with this that spine, but if you want it, you can create. And that means that spine is just, if you have got more pages, then it kind of gets a little bit more of a spine here and a spine here, and that works. So that is my cover. And you're thinking my cover and my hinge here. You're thinking how that works. Yeah, well, you'll see in a second. So that I don't need anymore. I put it aside. Now I do the same. I have got a white page here. I fold it in half, and then you can place it again, securing that line in here. Now you will wonder why I have put the full rectangle. That's if you have got a machine that maybe struggles to die cut a thick card, then what you can do is die cut 1/2 and then rotate it, and I'll show you it in a second as well, and that will give you another possibility of cutting. I'm just going to secure it and run it through the machine. Remember, use the scoring lines as a guide where you're putting the fold of the card. There are lots of dies in here that make a lot of, immediately we know it's a butterfly, flowers, sentiment, but there are other dies that are a little bit like head scratchers, aren't they? These ones, these ones, these ones. What do we do with this? You will see in a second, because that concept of not having glue, it applies to this. So now I have got here, and that has cut, well, I left something here, well, I'm not sure what it is, a piece of paper probably, on my die cutting machine. Should clean my plates every now and again, don't I? Put the die, I'll put it here so I don't lose it. So now that has created the page with that aperture. Now this aperture is the same as other pages that I have designed in the past. So if you have any of my previous pages, including this one, you could put it through here. This is from another die set. So again, everything coordinates and you can bring it together. Now, okay, so we have got the page, but how do we make it stay? Because this kind of goes out. Well, that's what this die is for. This is the locking mechanism, and I have die cut it out of white card here. And this is a little bit thinner because, of course, if you had the spine, it would come here, and you want to have a little bit of leeway for more pages. And that is how it works, those dies. And now you have got your little mini album. Now, the beautiful thing about this, of course, I haven't used any glue, any other thing, that exactly the things that you have got on the kit as well. Well, maybe white card, but you know, and a die cutting machine. Now, I can take it out and put another one of those pages. And this is why it's called boundless, because it's not bound by any limitations, but just the actual dies on like that. So you can put quite a few pages. Of course, sometimes the pages, if you keep putting pages on thicker paper, it might pop out of the actual album. So you can always trim them a little bit, but they are designed so you have got still a little bit of leeway in there. In terms of thickness of pages, well, because you are die cutting, you know, if you're die cutting 2 layers at the same time, or like folded, then of course it's depending on your machine. If you wanted to die cut thicker cards, like for instance watercolor card, what I would do is die cut it once like this, and I'm going to actually show it to you, so it's actually shown there. So I'm gonna die cut it not without folding it, and then pat it through. And remember, these dies, I'm using an A4 die cutting machine, but you can use an A5. And basically what I'm showing is that you can, if you have got a thicker, like 300 GSM, I would recommend to do it in 2 goes, just so your machine doesn't struggle. And then take it out. Right, so that doesn't cut this way, and then turn it over. Clean the die, always clean the die, because otherwise it gets all those bits and it doesn't get cut as well. And that way it kind of, you can see that it will lock itself into here, and then run it again, and then you will have the double page if you want thicker material. But for anything about 250 GSM, I think folded works well. Now, the weird and random dies that we have got in here. Well, I'm going to show you first this one. This one is for this die. So this is a bookmark or closure. So I have die cut it out to white, and what it does is you can do it either way. You can go from here or go from here. So you die cut it, and then you place it around here, and then you fold it, and you create kind of a closure. Now then you have got the one that is 2 of them, and this one, what it does is it's slightly different, because you can do it like so. So that will give you another look. But also what you can do, so you can have the single coming through here, okay, and that one, imagine that that's the cover, and that can be like a little kind of closure like that. Again, no glue required. That's another way of using it. Now then this one, like you can see in here, you're thinking, why is that? Again, I was like, well, no glue, and we have got this beautiful butterfly, by the way, 2 different dies. So 2 different dies that kind of, you can cut it solid, and then if you use them in combination, you can die cut it like that, intricate. So you put them like this. Again, no glue required. Put the head first. I mean, this is one of those ones that I would imagine that I probably will glue them most of the time, but just to show you what they are for. So again, you can have this in here, and then roll it like that, and that will close it. Now this I would need to glue it in the base. By the way, if you're wondering how I die cut the perfect matte and layer, what you do is you die cut that, and then you just trim with your trimmer just above the scoring line, just a little. There is a kind of a stitch line. Just cut it around it, and that will give you the perfect matte and layer. So that's how these 2 work. Well, or these ones work. And then there is another one here that I have used, and again, I can take these ones out. I'm thinking, actually, you know what? I want to put these ones in here. So that's the beautiful thing about Boundless Journal. You can change it. Thinking, oh, this is black. I want a lock in tag that is black. So I'm going to put that one in here. And this other one, which is the 2 semicircles, is so you can use the bookmark in here, the book plate, sorry. And I have gone ahead and I die cut it, I don't know where to put it, out of mirror card. It's not included in the kit, but I always think the mirror card gives it a perfect look. And this again will allow you to, I kind of like to it's a bit, this one is a little bit really neat, like kind of it just goes perfect, it matches perfectly. And then you kind of have it this. Now, you know what I'm thinking? Would be lovely to have a sentiment in here. And yes, you guessed it right. You have got the perfect sentiment that will fit here. So I'm gonna put, actually I'm gonna put memories. I'm gonna go, and of course, if you the leftover from die cutting these will be the perfect match. So for instance, if you wanted to stamp that into this label here, that will be perfect as well. So you have got those possibilities. You can do it directly to paper, or to or you can choose not to. Okay, now this, if it doesn't stamp perfectly, please forgive me. I'm just kind of just showcasing how it all works. So I would do it like that. I would place die cut first, or position it, die cut it there, and then go in, and then it works in there. So that's another way. Now then you have got love and happy, and if you die cut them at the same time, from the so using this die will cut into the card, and if you place them together, will die cut it out of the card. So that will also work like this. So if you have something like this, that will work as well. So you have got all those options there as well. Then you have got the little heart, which is a little heart that is also a paper clip. So again, you know, that whole thing about clipping things together and not needing glue. So you can put it, if you wanted to secure it there, you can put it there as well. Now, yes, for this element, I would use foam pads or something like that to glue it, to make sure that that kind of works there together. But basically, I believe I have gone through all the dies that require a little bit of explanation. The flowers and the butterflies and the centers of the flowers are self-explanatory, as are the banners, which are just a little bit of decorative element as well, so you can make it a little bit different. So I hope this has explained how the dies work, and I hope you have lots of fun. And remember, this is Miss Pila's Papercraft Society box.